See, people have been watching these pictures on television and they've been streaming down to that area, but it's really slow going, and people aren't, police aren't going to let you get close. The media, we're not even being allowed to get in to get up close pictures yet of the scene because they still have it as a secure area. So that gives you an indication at home that there's really not going to be much access to you as you come to that area. Gary, Melissa?
All right, thank you very much, Doug. And if those damage estimates hold, if those injury estimates hold, it would be wonderful.
I can only hope and
yes.
pray. I need to add real quickly that we do have a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for LaRue County and southern Hardin County. A severe thunderstorm is located near E-Town. And is my mic okay? Let me get another mic, I'm sorry. We have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect now for LaRue and southern Hardin County. A severe thunderstorm is located near E-Town. All that's still moving to the south-southeast, so a severe thunderstorm warning now in effect for LaRue County. If you're in Hart or Greene County, you're in line for the storm.
If we can describe this for you right now, I recognize this scene from before, but this is the Brooks Road exit at I-65, and this overturned truck has been there for about the last hour and a half. Apparently, this was one of the trucks that was blown over as the tornado swept through this area about 2 hours ago. And as you can tell, please stay away from this area if you must travel. It is down to one lane on I-65 headed south, as you can see. The traffic heading north is well, 2 lanes and operating a little faster, but apparently there's a lot of gawking going on, so those people are also going much slower. But look at the traffic backed up on I-65 back toward the Jefferson County line. It is just a stupendous traffic jam. So stay out of this area. This is a mess to be avoided. And then, believe it or not, and I don't know why these people would be out in large number, but here's this huge traffic jam also on Brooks Road stretching out west. What these people are doing out in large numbers, I do not know.
I'm sure probably a lot of people are trying to see if their relatives are okay or friends that live in that area, but keep in mind, you know, with this kind of traffic, there's so many emergency vehicles that need to get into that area, and it's going to be very hard for them to maneuver through this kind of traffic. So I know it's hard if you've got friends or relatives in this area and you've been seeing these pictures, because these pictures are absolutely shocking and terrifying. And the best thing for you to do is wait for word, though, because obviously you're not going to be able to get through. You're not going to be able to find out anything by heading that way, and you may, in fact, be hampering emergency officials that need to get through.
This is just one area where we are taking pictures of damage. We want to go now to Bloomfield Road in Spencer County, Kentucky, and talk to Lawrence Smith, who is also covering this storm. Lawrence, what have you got there?
Well, as you said, Melissa, we're on Bloomfield Road, about 2 or 3 miles outside of Taylorsville in Spencer County. We've stopped just short of where the major damage is. The road is blocked by a fire department truck here. We have a couple of people to talk to about the kind of damage we're seeing here in Spencer County. First of all, this is Nathan Nation, Assistant Fire Chief with the fire department here. And Chief Nation, what are you seeing down the road here as far as damage?
In this area, we've had basically just power lines down. We've had some severe structural damage. We have a mobile home down the road. The frame has literally been wrapped around fence posts. There's been roofs and structures destroyed, completely destroyed. We have one pretty large farming facility, a barn, has been completely destroyed in this area. Some other activities we've had in the county, the Taylorsville Lake, the marina. I believe we have some equipment on the scene up there at this time. We have possible gas leak from the marina up there, and I believe some structural damage. And as far as this area and that, that's all I'm aware of at this time.
Let me mention, this is live TV, and our light's fading a bit. We're going to keep talking anyway, even though you may not see us very well. What about reports of injuries at Chief Nation?
Okay, as far as I know at this time, from talking to our dispatch center and our other companies we have working out in the county, we have no injuries reported at this time, to my knowledge. We've had some severe damage as far as structures and high winds and, of course, tornado touchdowns. And we have, to my knowledge, have no injuries reported at this time due to it.
Now, right now where we are, about a quarter mile down the road, there is actually damage blocking the road. Is that right?
Yes, we have possibly 2-3 large trees with electrical lines blocking Bloomfield Road at this time, and we're standing by for utility company.
Okay, we'll be back to you in just a second.
Okay.
First of all, let's talk to someone who actually saw the storms come through. Lagonda Nichols lives a house just a couple of 100 feet down from me. And Lagonda, what did you see as the storm came through?
We just watched the clouds turn into 4 small funnel clouds, and they just began to whip through, and the trees began to uproot, and it was just really bad.
So you actually saw the funnel clouds
We
come through.
watched it, right, we watched it.
And we have our light back now, so what did you hear? I mean, you hear the classic, you know, how a twister sounds. What did you hear?
It just was a real loud roar, and it just began to, just like a whipping sound, like we opened the window so we could hear, and we watched it from our back window. There was 4. Started out with 1 large one, and then it went from the 1 large into 4, and
now,
they just whipped through.
Your house was not damaged, though?
My house, I lost all of the guttering and have a lot of water going through the basement at this time, and the screen door was taken, and just small things, nothing compared. A tree hit the side of my house, but other than that, nothing compared to, you know.
So you're very fortunate at this point.
Right.
We should mention that much of this area is without power right now. There's no power in Spencer County, and also there's some scattered flooding throughout this area as well. And Chief Nation, to you again, what about any evacuation centers or anything like that you've heard may have been set up to help people around here?
Okay, I'm not for sure, but this time I believe we have an evacuation center set up at the Spencer County Courthouse, Main Street, Taylorsville, and I believe they may be setting one up at Spencer County High School. I'm not for sure. I haven't talked with their dispatch center in the last few minutes on that, but the last of my knowledge, I believe they were looking at those 2 areas to set up. Also, we'll be working with American Red Cross. We have some people here that's going to need some shelter for tonight, so we'll be working with those folks to make sure everybody in our community and county is taken care of.
Bottom line is there is considerable damage here, but fortunately, this twister, if there was one, hit in a rural area, so the damage was not extensive as far as property damage and loss of life or anything like that, or injury. But there is damage here in Spencer County, just outside Taylorsville. Back to you in Louisville.
All right. Lawrence Smith reporting from Taylor County, or rather Spencer County, near Taylorsville. I begin to get
confused
a little confused
all
here
the names. And as you did hear Officer Nation say, there is a shelter at the courthouse there in Taylorsville on Main Street. He says there may be another one, and we're trying to get a list of those.
The courthouse, and I've been there, Spencer County is kind of a small building.
Right.
They were talking about opening one at the high school, which is a much larger building just outside of town. So
but that hit in a rural area.
Yeah.
So we may not need a lot of shelter, and we've been getting reports that we may not have a lot of injuries here due to this. It is difficult to believe, but we are very hopeful. When you take a look at the video, and at some point we will show you the video that we took during daylight hours. We have lost our light now from Sky 11, and so it's difficult, if not impossible, to pick up live. But here's the videotape that we took earlier of this subdivision between Pioneer Village and Interstate 65 near the Brooks Road exit. And you will see many, many, many houses flattened, others damaged, roofs off, but more than we thought when we first started getting damage reports. More than we thought have been destroyed.
It's hard to imagine when you get the phone reports that, you know, a home's been destroyed. You just don't picture this kind of situation, and this is just...
This astonished us. It shocked us when we saw it the first time. This is in an area just as you saw it passed over north of Bullitt. These are large houses, and this is the command post that was first set up just after the storm occurred, and this was just as Sky 11 arrived on the scene just after 8 o'clock tonight. And as you can tell, usually homes like this will ride out a big storm or a big straight line wind or even a small tornado. These are substantial structures, and they were battered by this storm. And we had reports, one report of 3 funnel clouds, but this one appeared to be either a couple of small persistent ones or one huge twister that swept through the area and caused this kind of splintering of houses in North Bullitt County.
And you heard the woman talking about from Spencer County near Taylorsville that she and her children were far enough away from this line of thunderstorms that they stood on the back porch and watched. Not what we tell you to do, but that is what they did. And they saw 4 small funnel clouds come out of one larger one. So it appears that more than one tornado has gone through these areas, and as we told you earlier, we have tracked at least a 7-mile long path of destruction from the subdivision between Pioneer Village and Interstate 65 onto Mount Washington. And it's difficult to tell from Sky 11 how wide a path of destruction it is, but you can see right there, it's at least 2 blocks wide.
We had seen this video before now, so we're describing it to you for the second time, and what we're doing now with Sky 11 is circling the affected area. But after George Sells had circled the area in Sky 11, they then headed south to Mount Washington, and he estimated that the stretch of damage was about 7 miles. That this tornado also passed through a wooded area and splintered trees and then caused considerable damage to some condominiums or apartment buildings in Mount Washington. But you can see here once again the path of destruction and the capricious nature of tornadoes. Some houses being untouched, others have been completely demolished. And once again now we've made that complete spin around the subdivision, and we've come back out to the staging area. This is the Zonton Fire Department seen from above, and the emergency vehicles as they just began to arrive there about 8:15.
And we have crews on the ground, of course.